CSF Entertainment.
Yo. Welcome back to CSF Entertainment. You know why we here. Here to bring you Power Book 4 Season 3, Episode 305, The Last Dance. But before we get into it, we got none other than my bro, Jack of George. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm having me a celebratory cigar, if you will. We got somebody situated this episode. I think it's time for me to celebrate. Not who I owed it to, but still calls for a celebration.
Hey, I don't blame you. That was the best part of the whole episode, man. I'm right there with you. Hey, celebratory drink.
Yeah, yes, sir.
A long time coming. So before we get into it, what would you rate the episode?
I'd say about an 8. I'd say about an 8. You know, I like the way, like one of the things we kind of expected, especially coming from the DNA of power just in general. Mm-hmm. And then another thing I didn't expect, I just was like, oh, I had the Weebay face for a hot second. But I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. So I say about an 8. What about you?
I gave it a 9. Like, this episode was remarkable. I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of it, I wasn't feeling it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I was just like, but then as it progressed, I was like, okay. I was like, I see where they're going with the joint. I was like, that's exactly where they're going.
Yeah, I like this. There's only one thing. There's only one thing. If one thing didn't happen, which we predicted to happen, I probably would have had it at a 9 or even a 10 if the one thing that happened that we kind of predicted to happen that we see in every series of Power.
Yeah. Well, we told y'all what was gonna happen. We was 4 for 4. We didn't get all our predictions, but we was 4 for 4 on our predictions for this episode. So let's go ahead and get into it. Episode synopsis says Diamond and Jenard strengthen their relationship over a common enemy, while Tommy ties up a loose end. Before we get fully started, let's see what's going on, DeMarcus. Marcus, episode solid 9.
Fair enough.
What's up, Alex Keys? What else we got? What's up, Lope Queen? What's up, Seafloor? Happy holidays. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode kicks off with Marshall and Bones, along with Big Smurf and the CBI family. They all hanging out, just playing cards and everything, and watching Willie do his little tricks and everything on his in his wheelchair. And while they're doing all of that, having a good time, the Yardies come through. Owen and the Yardies come through and spray up the whole spot. Which, matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till we get to a certain scene to ask the question about Owen and the Yardies or whatever, because I got a question about that. But they come through, shoot up the whole little spot with CBI crew hanging out or whatever, and in the process, which I had already figured was gonna happen after they started shooting, Willie gets hit, which really affects Big Smurf in a big way. So I guess maybe because he was just that close. I was just wondering why, like, Big Smurf took it so personal.
That's a great question, man, and I asked myself that too while watching it. And hopefully, I would like to see a backstory of why they took it so personal. Maybe because he was, in the gang with him. I'm not really sure, but I'd like to see a backstory of it though.
Yeah, because he took it the hardest more than anybody.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely see it towards, when we get there, but I would like to know why.
So after that, they end up going over to see Jenard and Diamond, and that's where they tell Diamond that the Yardies came back and hit them. And Diamond is confused, as well as I was, as to why the Yardies had came to hit them, because, he said, like, we don't have no beef with them, so they have no reason to come and hit us. he also pays them all. I was trying to figure out, was he paying them all since Willie got hit, or was he just paying them off because like that's what they were owed for putting in work or whatnot?
To be honest, I don't know if they was paying. I don't know if he was paying them off to. I think he was paying them off to maybe get some hitters, or if things was go left. To be honest.
Okay, yeah, because he did say gather up the troops.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was just paying them to get some hitters if they didn't do, what he wanted them to do.
Okay, and in that process, Jenard comes out with it and said more than likely the Yardies came back and hit us because Tommy took out one of their people when he first got into town in Chicago. When he first got in, so it was probably get back for them. For Tommy. Real quick,
can you refresh my memory of? I should have went back and looked at the episode of when it actually happened.
Oh man, it was season 1 for sure, and that's why when we get to a certain scene, I was gonna bring that up. It was season 1 for sure. I can't remember what episode, but it was definitely season 1. Me and Retro
was it Jenard with him? With him, and they pulled up on Jenard, who was meeting with the Yardies. I don't remember. Somebody drop it in the comments.
I believe so. DeMarcus will know for sure, but it's definitely in season 1. Okay. DeMarcus says it's season 1, episode 1. Yeah, that's what I thought. Me and Retro was talking about it offline, and I was like, yo, like, but like I said, there's a certain question I got as far as this whole thing goes. But Jenard says that it's get back for Tommy taking out one of their crew. And during that process, as they go back and forth, Diamond comes up with a grand scheme of bringing them to the coalition, which Jenard despised. He hated, and he went up against, he was going up against his brother, saying like, no, like it's going to show weakness for us. We need to hit them back and hit them back hard, because if they do this and we bring them into the coalition, then everybody thinks that they can do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So he just goes off and goes ballistic, and Diamond reminds him like, hey, I'm the boss, because Jenard says, how you gonna sell all of this to Big Smurf? And Diamond said, I ain't Walmart. I ain't gonna sell. Yeah, when he said that, I said,
nobody.
I got sell. I was like, yo, I gotta use that. I was like, I'm gonna have to use that for sure right there. He was like, I ain't gotta sell nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, it's true, because he is the boss. Like, he runs CBI, so it's either you fall in line or you take that exit left. So, but I did have a feeling though, after he paid, because he must have been divvying out money for a re-up or something, because he gave Jenard some money as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking like it had to be that. Like they must have just put in some, sold some product, and he's giving them day cuts of the products that they sold. But when Diamond told him set up the meet with Zamos, I was like, for some strange reason, I had a feeling like he had something else in mind when he told Jenard to set up the meeting with Zamos.
Mm-hmm.
Jenard and Vic was on some side deal type of thing with Tommy and them pulled up. Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
it's the first time all season Diamond step. You ain't lying about that, Dexter. That's definitely for sure. You ain't lying about that.
Weird, because he only does it with he does it with Jenard, but he steps up with Tommy, but he's kind of like reluctant to step up with Tommy.
Yeah.
Type of step up. He was like, oh no, we partners, man. You know whatever.
Yep.
Instead of here, he said there was more conviction and more demand. Like, I ain't gotta tell nobody or ask nobody nothing. I'm the boss. Eddie gave him the look like, stand down, my bro.
Yep. So one of my well, at least we got one of them. Well, matter of fact, hey, we killed 2 birds with 1 stone with this episode. So I'm cool with it now. So we got Claudia and Elise, and Claudia's telling Elise the whole grand plan of how she got out of jail and how she is going to somehow, some way use herself as bait for Tommy to try to take her out. And Elise is like, why even do that? We could just jump on a jet. We go to Barbados or any one of those countries with no extradition and just get out of here. And I was like, for once, Elise is using her. I was like, she's using her brain. I was like, for once, she's using her brain. I was like, she's thinking smart because she hadn't been thinking smart all season. And of course, Claudia's like, no, you don't have to worry about it. Like, they got me. They gonna move in as soon as, maybe for attempted murder. And she's like, well, what if he ends up getting you? And she, of course, Claudia being Claudia, just, she rubs it off and, she tries to make a move on Elise, and Elise ain't feeling that. Like, nah, we ain't about to do all of that. Like, your life is at stake right now. And it's funny, this is kind of, I want to say, an Easter egg, if you will, to a certain scene near the end with Elise, because it kind of proved Tommy's point with this scene right here, as she was just kind of blowing Elise off and not worrying about it and wanting to get into bed with her, and Elise pushed her off. So
good for Elise.
Yeah, good for Elise. Yeah, good for Elise. She finally smartened up. Like, good for Elise that she finally smartened up. It was like, nah. And so after all of this, Claudia looks in the mirror and starts to see Tommy in her visions, thinking that Tommy is behind her, which we know Tommy that was not. And Tommy just had Claudia spooked, which she knew for a fact that after what Elise said, that Tommy would probably get away with it. Mm-hmm. And we don't like to jump scenes, but we all know exactly what happened. But Tommy had her scared to death, because even here she's just like, wow, I'm seeing him while I'm wide awake. Like, I'm seeing visions of him. So Tommy goes back to his crib where Maria is in the bed, knocked out sleep, and he tries to sneak in to get a certain weapon that he's had holding ever since Liliana was unalive. And Maria wakes up and she asks him about it, and he tells her that there's no way out of it. Like, I have to avenge her, because I really thought Maria was going to talk Tommy out of it at somehow, some way.
I didn't think so, because I think Maria kind of understands she understands what she signed up for and understands what Tommy got to do. He's going to do that regardless. She only asked him to not do one thing. So I kind of knew he was going, like, she was going to side with him on
that. I don't know why. It was just the way that she was saying to him, like, you really have to do this. Like, like, you don't have to do this. So but like you said, we know Tommy was going to push back regardless. Like, we already knew Tommy had been saying that since Liliana's death, that he was going to make sure that he avenged Liliana. It's ironic, Tommy never avenged Lakeisha Grant's death. He didn't really contradict himself. He was there. Like, you go back to book 2. He was literally there to avenge Lakeisha's death, but Tariq came in the way and got in the way, and Tariq is the one that's even that stopped it all together, because remember, Ghost told Tommy no when Tommy was about to unalive Tariq in power. So he's told Tariq a few times, if I remember. Like, I think he even told it in the season he showed up in book 2, like, the only reason why you're still walking around is because of Ghosts. So Claudia made the same mistake Dre did in OG Power. Dre had his head. Yep, the exact same mistake. Literally made the exact same mistake. The exact same mistake. Yes, right. How she didn't. She didn't at all. And she doesn't have a chance to now.
And I think the situation with Tommy and Lakeisha was different, because Lakeisha, for one, it was who got Lakeisha situated. That was for one. Mm-hmm. So Lakeisha had paperwork. She was working with him. Liliana was solid.
Mm-hmm. But I can't even remember if Tommy even ever found out that that Lakeisha was about to snitch. I know Tasha told him that, but I don't think he ever saw the paperwork.
Yeah.
But so Tommy comes up with an elaborate scheme, and he calls nobody. Excuse me, I'm flipping on my words here. He calls Claudia, and he tells Claudia that, hey, I got an idea for us. You know, we're both at ends with Ortega. You know, let's meet up, which I knew right there was a setup from Jump Street, and she knew it was a setup from Jump Street, especially when he tells her to come along. And right after they get off the phone, immediately Claudia reaches out to Stacy and texts her that he just reached out to me. And while Stacy is getting this text, here comes Judson Lawrence, which I believe he is the head of the police union.
Yep.
Yeah, the head of the police union comes in, and he comes in with a surprise, and he meets with Stacy and tells Stacy, you know, you want the backing of the CPD? Well, you give me $100K as a down payment on a new boat, and I'll make sure that you get the backing of the CPD. Which I was like, dang, already? This kind of reminded me of with what's his name, and with Tate. I was like, dang, I was like, she running for mayor. I was like, people already coming in dirty, trying to wash their hands, already getting their hands and what she got going on in her campaign.
Rinse, wash, and repeat.
Yeah, that's for sure. But Stacy is a little reluctant to do it, but I forget what he says to her. He says something to her. Oh, that's right. She says that she offers him that once she's mayor, she'll take the heat off of CPD, as well as make I forgot the ranking that she said of his choice. And which I knew right here, I was like, just the way he shook her hand and smiled, I knew, like, I was like, yeah, something else was up. They shake hands, and she's like, okay, she thinks that they made a deal. This scene right here, in my opinion, honestly could have been deleted. Like, they could have kept this scene all together. I was trying to understand the significance of it. Still don't. But Tommy stops by the crib, and he runs into JP, who's in the crib eating, and they speak about D-Mac, and Tommy tells JP that D-Mac is back in CBI, and he tells him that that's the best thing for D-Mac to be back in CBI, which JP doesn't agree with, but he tells him, like, this is who D-Mac is. He's out here running the streets. He's unaliving folks. You know, the best way to keep him safe is to bring him back into CBI, and I can keep an eye over him. But of course, JP doesn't see it that way. JP is like, no, you know, that's my son. He doesn't need to be in the streets. You know, you should not have brought him back in CBI. So
JB need to stop. Like, just stop. You know, because what are you doing, JB? Like, what are you talking to him and this, that, and the other? You didn't say, hey, let's move here together and start this new life and this, that, and the other. Just stop. You know who D-Mac is. There's nothing you can do to even change it. Just stop. Please get JP situated.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at this scene now. I'm kind of thinking like they were setting us up for the other scene that him and Tommy had, but it was just like when I first saw this scene, I was just like, this kind of scene right here, y'all could have kept it. So here we have Stacy Marks and the whole task force, and they are in a truck running surveillance on none other than Claudia, as they plan on setting up Tommy to arrest him. But Tommy is already one step ahead of Claudia as usual. He's up on the rooftop with binoculars, checking the scene to see who's tailing Claudia, who's around. And he sees a couple of people. He sees a car, and then he ends up seeing a trailer truck, and realizes that is the Fed's truck as they are running surveillance. So he gives Claudia a call, And when Claudia picks up the phone, he's like, I thought I told you to come alone. And she kind of makes it seem like she's alone. But Tommy already knows that she's not alone. And during the process on the phone, Stacey Marks tells Claudia that like we can't hear him. So she ends up putting Tommy on speakerphone, and then she tries to get Tommy to incriminate himself by bringing up the jail hit, which Tommy like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like it just like it was just, I was just like, really? I was like, come on. I was like, Claudia, like the way they wrote this though, I was like, really? I was like, Claudia, how long you been dealing with Tommy?
Yeah, I don't like the way they wrote this either, because you got to know that Tommy is smarter than this to incriminate himself over the phone about anything. They'd be like, yeah, we need to meet, and then that'd be that, and even then he's still kind of careful with his words, still. If you think that he already caught Elise with the phone face to face in the meet, what makes you think that he wouldn't think that you're up to something, Claudia? I don't like the way they wrote that at all.
Great point. I forgot all about that with Elise.
It only makes sense though. It's like, okay, Elise did this, it got caught. You was locked up, got out. How? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, but as much as she tries, Tommy does not incriminate himself on the phone, which pisses off Stacey Marks, and that whole deal that they're supposed to meet up to get Tommy falls through. Meanwhile, at the penthouse, we got Vic here, who is looking up information on Stacey Marks and her whole mayor campaign. And while that's happening, Claudia shows up, and she shows up to say that she's taking back the penthouse. And Vic basically says over his dead body, like, no, you're not getting the penthouse back. Like, and I was trying to figure out like, why are y'all fighting over the penthouse? But that's neither here nor there. And during the process, Vic is like, yo, how did you even get out? How did you get out of jail? You wearing a wire right now? Like, so I think even Vic kind of picked up on it. Like, you might even be trying to set me up because of the stuff that we had before in the past, where, you screwed up my business and whatnot.
I already set him up once. Why trust?
Yeah. Why? Exactly. So then that's when Claudia, she goes into, which again, it kind of showed earlier when she was with Elise. She goes into a whole spiel of, we're friends. At the end of the day, we're family. I am sorry for everything that I did, but we're friends. We run Chicago. We've always ran Chicago. We need to get Tommy out of the way, because it's only a matter of time before Tommy even takes you out. So let's get back to us and getting the Flynn name back on top, which I'm actually glad. Well, although we saw a change, which I'm actually glad that during this time, Vic didn't fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
Vic immediately was just like, nah. He was like, nah, you go ahead. He was like, here you go. You can take your bag. You go ahead, roll, get on up out of here. Because I think Vic didn't trust her as well.
Yeah, coming from anybody else's mouth who was the last name was Flynn, that probably would have been believable. But coming from her, nobody believed nothing she said at this point.
Yeah, so
he backdoored everybody.
Everybody. And while she's leaving, Ray shows up. And she's like, oh, you must be the new girl. And Vic is still trying to get her out the door. And she tells Ray, hey, you might want to be careful who you're with. And this is coming from a sister.
See,
and
even saying that just goes to show that she anything to get her way. She could have just left. But she still had to make it a point to kind of drag him through the dirt somehow, some way, to make her inquisitive about this, that, and whatever. I get why the conversation had that. Why that, had to happen.
Yeah. So while that's going on, of course, Ray's like, I know her. Like, I've seen her before. and she couldn't put her finger on it, but she just knew that she saw her before. So Vic, he asked her, if you want a drink, and she's like, no, it's a little bit too early. And then immediately she realizes that was Claudia Flynn. So this was one of our predictions, was that Vic was going to come clean with her. It was going to let her know exactly who he is. Now, granted, he had no choice because Claudia ended up coming up there, but he still chose to let Ray know exactly who he was and that he was related to Claudia. And Ray freaks out thinking that, oh, Vic is about to take me out. And he tells her, no, I'm not about to take you out. I just need you to sit and listen. And she's not willing to listen until she's about to get to the elevator. And he tells her that, yes, at the beginning, I was playing you, but now this is evolved into something real.
Where do you think their relationship is going to develop? Like, how do you think it's going to develop, and where do you think it's going to go? You think she's going to be like, all right, let's do this, or you think it's going to be like, all right, I'm willing to do this, and then it's going to become too much?
I think when she was about to leave and she decided to stay and say, I did want that drink, I think that she's like, okay, it is something real. In a sense, I kind of feel like Ray might even stay to play it, to get back at him.
I didn't think about that.
And try to get like some dealings of exactly what it is that he's doing. Because like Dexter says, that whole conversation wasn't realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you found out that he was Claudia's brother, you was scared for your life. You thought Vic was about to take you out, so you was trying to hurry up and run out. And then Vic, like, he barely was even believable himself, saying like, yo, it was real. Like, if it wasn't real, I wouldn't let you walk out the door, and whatnot. And then she just decides to stay, and they end up having a drink. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. Dexter, like, that whole that conversation wasn't realistic at all. So here we have Stacey Marks at another press conference that she's given for mayor. And in her press conference, she says that she is going to work with the CBD to get all of the crime down in Chicago. And that is one of her main goals. And as we can see, Justin Lawrence is there, as well as others. And we have the whole CPD, well, not the whole CPD, but some CPD officers there at her, and they turned their backs on her, which I think was all set up by Judson.
For sure.
I think it was all set up by Judson.
For sure.
Because immediately after they turn their backs on her, she immediately looks over at him
and gives her like a little wicked smile.
Mm-hmm. She looks immediately over at him, and she ends her press conference. And after she ends her press conference, she goes over to Justin again, and he told her, he said, I told you got to play ball. Like, you got to play ball. You want the backing of the CPD, you got to play ball. And now that you got to play ball, since that happened, now the price just went up 50%. So I was just like, okay, I can see this Justin character is going to be a little bit ruthless. So this right here, we can already see was about to be the downfall of Stacey Marks. This right here was number one, where we saw that, like, her running for mayor is going to be more than what she anticipated, because people are already trying to get in her pockets. And we got Justin here.
Seeing this scene, I kind of like, it was like foreshadowing what was going to happen.
Yep.
To be honest, I was just like, okay, there's only one way she can play ball with this now.
Mm-hmm.
One direction that she can go.
Yep. Only one direction she could go.
Yep.
What did he say? Ray actually foreshadowed her death, just not by Vic. That could be quite possible.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy isn't equipped to handle the rough and tumble of the politics. Now that I do agree with. That's why I said she's a little bit over her head right now. She wasn't expecting this at all. As he said, Stacy is going to turn into Tate sooner than later. I can definitely see that.
Possibility?
I could definitely see that. Kind of hope it, just because, like you said earlier, Jack, rinse and wash, rinse and repeat. But I can actually see that happening. Just for her to play ball. So back at Tommy's crib, he's meeting with Vic, and they're talking about Stacy and how they're going to get inside. And Vic shows her the press conference of the CPD turning their back on her, and he says, "This is how we can get the inside jump on Stacy, where we can use this to donate to her campaign because she is in need of money, and now that she doesn't have the CPD on her side, we can use this to get even further along inside of her campaign, and we can get to her." And Tommy's like, "You know what? That's a good deal." He was like, "But we also need something else. Like, how can we flip her?" And he asked Vic, "Well, how did she flip you?" And Vic tells Tommy that she said that she had two witnesses on the night that he eliminated Colin. I forgot Colin's last name. It was in season 1. That she had 2 eyewitnesses that saw him eliminating Colin. So that's how she was able to get him to jump ship. And Tommy remembers the whole incident, and he goes to go pay a visit to one of the witnesses, which is none other than Alicia. How did he find her? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. I wish they would have showed some type of...
They said something about her being in school or being in some type of class.
Oh, that's right. That's right. In an art school. But I get it. She was in art school, but it's just like, how did you know the exact art school? Like, how were you able to find out her last name? I know we're kind of nitpicking, but it's just like one of those things. Like, sometimes we like to just see like those little bit of backstories that, just for us to make it make sense. Hey, what's going on? Share my love. What's going on, Juggernaut, bro? What's going on, gang? So Tommy goes to visit Alicia, and he reminds her of the night that she was there at the other art warehouse where Colin was unalived. And immediately she gets spooked and thinking that Tommy is going to eliminate her right then and there. And he's just like, "No, I got $25K for you if you do this for me." Which we found out in the latest scene exactly what it is that she does. But Alicia does play ball, and she does take the $25K. So finally, okay, so yeah, now I can get to my questions. So here we have CBI meeting with the Yardies, and they are meeting with Zamos, and Diamond says to him, Diamond and Jenard say, "Hey, we got the best product out here. Like, we came with gifts. We want to get you and the CBI into the coalition." And Zamos, along with Owen, they take the bag and they test the product. As Zamos says, we can't make a deal unless arms are put down. So the CBI crew, they go put their fire guns down, along with Zamos and the Yardies. They go put their firearms down. And then Diamond decides to change the parameters of the deal and says, "But first, before we get started, you got to serve up Owen." Which Zamos is like, "That wasn't a part of the deal." And he's like, "Well, you know what? I lied." And somebody does a whistle. They come in on the dirt bikes and they spray up all of the Yardies, like left and right. One came in from the front, another one came in from the side. They take everybody out. And Zamos, although being hit, he is still one of the people that is still hanging on to his last breath. Big Smurf gets his revenge on Owen, although Owen was already gone and unalive, but he's letting out his aggression on Owen. and just lights him up, just empties out the whole clip, and still keeps clicking until Bones comes over and says that, like, hey, he's gone. And Diamond here, he goes and he told Zamos, like, you should have just took the deal and take Zamos out. Now, here's my question for this, because this is the part that I do not understand, and maybe you or somebody in the comments can make me understand this. So we haven't seen, and I could be wrong, I don't remember seeing the Yardies all last season at all.
I don't think I saw them either.
So, okay, so we didn't see them all last season. So now that we're on the last season, how long? Like, Tommy's been in Chicago for the longest time. He's been running with CBI since like season 1. And now you're just waiting to hit back at CBI for Tommy taking out one of y'all workers?
Well, it depends on the time frame, right? Like, we understand the time frame, like as far as going in between, season to season, a year on, a year off, whatever. But depending on the time frame, when did that actually happen? Are we talking 6 months ago? Are we talking 8 months ago? Like, how long are we talking? Like, when did the initial beef happen? And how did we get and how did we get to this point? So it just kind of really depends. That's a great question, but how power likes to jump. Like, one moment it may seem like just for instance, let's just say that happened in 2024, 2025, beginning of 2025. Let's just say we in February when it happened, and now we into November. They now just getting back. It just really depends on the time. We never really got a time frame when all this stuff happened. We never got a date, a month, a day. So it kind of really depends on that. To be honest, that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And we got Retro in the house. What's going on, bro?
Man, sorry for being late, man. I was having some internet issues.
It's all good, man. It's all good, bro. We was holding it down for you. What do you think about the episode?
I thought the episode was pretty good. I got some.
Wait, before you stop, I'm having a celebratory cigar because somebody was situated.
Yeah. We finally got her up out of here.
Yeah.
Before we go,
poor DeMarcus. I'm sure DeMarcus is not happy about that.
Sure, my love. That's a good theory. You know what? You might be right about that. I can honestly see that. Because he definitely encouraged her to run for mayor. DeMarcus, I don't think that's Manny Fresh Crew at all. Remember, I believe it's none other than I think it's the 9-7s. Because remember, on the last episode, and I can't even remember the guy's name, they made him king of the 9-7s. So now he's working with CBI. So I don't think it was Manny Fresh Crew and them at all.
And trust me, I was looking for them dreads.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it would have been
no, it's not the 9-7s, it's the SODs.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad. That's right. SODs. That's right. Not the 9-7s. You're right. That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking about.
It should have been though. It should have been. It should have been.
Yeah, I agree with that, DeMarcus. They as we always say, our favorite words is a plot device. It's a plot device as to why they're just now getting back at Tommy for that, because it made no sense. Matter of fact, I'll ask Retro since Retro is here. Why did it take them so long to get back at CBI when Tommy unalived one of their workers in season 1?
I have no idea. That right there just didn't make any sense to me. That didn't make any sense why they would wait so long to double back on them for revenge. Poor Willie. Poor Willie.
Grand opening, grand closing for Willie.
Yeah.
Willie was doing the steak leg with no legs.
Bruh.
This right here. My man Jenard, this right here. I appreciated him for this.
I appreciated him for it too, but it's going to get him caught up because you know when Shanti found out he went and met with Shay without her, Showstopper ain't gonna be happy about that.
So what?
I think she probably already know.
But I'm proud of him for he put the message in and he deleted it. I'm proud of him for just doing that, to be honest.
Well, it just speaks to what we've been saying, that Jenard is not exactly unaware of his situation with Showstopper. So he know that she's trying to call all the shots. But I think I saw in an interview where he said that is it that she's calling all the shots, or is it that he's making her think that she's calling all the shots? So that's what we probably are seeing right here, is that she doesn't have as much control over him as she thinks she does. And I think she's starting to realize that too.
I took it as when he erased the text was that now that Diamond finally gave him the okay to like come to meet Che, that he's like, yo,
this is my time to shine.
Yeah, it's my time to shine. And Diamond is now kind of listening to me because he doubled back and we took out the Yardies when he was trying to bring them into the coalition. So I think he like, nah, I ain't about to go up against my brother. Like CBI about to be back. So we about to keep it moving.
So in this scene right here, you have Diamond, who went ahead and agreed to let Jenard attend the meeting with Che. And Jenard was getting ready to start, pleading his case. And Diamond's like, man, you ain't gonna do all that. You going to the meet. Yep. And the man show up to the meet with his hat backwards and everything. And she's like, who the fuck is this? I don't meet strangers.
Right.
I don't meet strangers. Which I don't understand why Diamond didn't even lead with that. He should have led with that, yo, this is my brother. He's coming to the meet with me or whatever. You should have softened it up a little bit for Che.
Yeah. He definitely should have.
They go back and forth, and pretty much Diamond tells Che that, look, we took out the Yardies. Che says, what about what I told you? I didn't want you guys starting the wars out here. And he was like, look, it had to be done. We're going to take over the territory, and we want even more product. So Che was down with that, but at the same time, I don't think that he's going to want to fuck with Jenard.
I think there's going to be another meet. That although Jenard was there, because he said, why didn't you leave with that? But I think there's going to be another meet that Jenard is going to say something just like just wild, and Che going to be like, yeah, nah, like make sure I'm only going to deal business with you and Tommy as long as he's around. Like, just don't bring him to the meets. I think because Jenard is so full of himself, like, and he says like he does it. He's kind of like Tommy in a sense sometimes where he don't think. So I think we can definitely see where that might end up happening, where he's just like, yeah, nah, you ain't coming to the meets no more. You ain't coming to the meets at all.
I can see that.
What's this? I believe Stacey will eliminate. Nah. I don't even think, to be honest, I don't even think Vic is getting eliminated this season, but that's just me.
What did I tell you? I told you that Vic is probably going to end up being the one to walk away from all this. However, I'm not so sure he's going to walk away unscathed. Man, poor Stacy, just give it up. Just quit, move out of town, do something, though. Stacy ain't got nothing going for her. CDP don't already turn their back on her. You got the head of the union trying to extort her for money. Then he flipped on her and said he want another $50,000 on top of the $100,000 he already asked for. Like, Stacy ain't got nothing going for her right now. So he got a meet up with Vic has called a meet up with Stacy, and she's like, do you realize you work for me? I don't work for you. And what are you doing calling me to this meet? And then in comes Tommy, and Tommy reveals to her that he is Pageant Inc. And that he is her biggest donor, and that she should be a little bit more happy to meet her biggest donor. They go back and forth and back. Stacy realizes at that point that Vic has double crossed her and has been working with Tommy, and she warns him by saying that, do you really think that he is going to continue working with you? He's going to use you up and eliminate you. And he was like, at that point, Tommy presents her with another check for another $500,000, and she tries to hold her own. She tries to hold it together. I don't know what it is about Stacy. I don't know if it's the actress. I don't know if it's how they're writing her, or is it the actress overacting the role? But it's just none of this. She doesn't come across intimidating. She doesn't come across threatening. The delivery is just not working for me.
You know what? Now that you say that, I will agree. I didn't even think about it at that point. It might be the overacting.
I think it's the overacting.
I mean, honestly, before I know, when we got introduced to her character, I saw some folks before the comment says that she's acted on other shows. I've never seen her on other shows except for this one, so I can't say her acting, but I think it's a bit of both of how they're writing it and her overacting. Like she's trying to, the way they're writing it, and she's trying to overact to sell it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Tommy threatens her in so many words and pretty much tells her that she really ain't got no choice. So, like, her campaign is gone to hell. She lost the support of the CDP. She has also been she's been working the angle from day one. We saw that. We saw her working the angle with Vic. That didn't work out for her. She was working the angle with Claudia. That clearly didn't work out for her. Tommy uses opportunity to flip her because the lady at the art gallery that he mysteriously found out of nowhere.
That's what he said.
I understand that Vic told him that she was a student of the arts or whatever, but how did he know exactly what gallery and that she would be there at that time and place? But that's just me being petty, I guess.
Yeah, bro. I said the exact same thing. The exact same thing, almost word for word.
I was like, I make it make sense for me, right? So Tommy, we saw what Tommy did with her when he offered her the $25,000. He wanted her to record a video saying that Stacy threatened her and extorted her into saying that Vic eliminated Colin back in season 1. Again, we have events from season 1 that are now coming back, which doesn't make sense to me. This should have came out before now, but that's neither here nor there. Tommy plays the video for her where the witness has recanted her story by saying that Stacy told her to name Vic, that Stacy offered her $25,000. So he's basically threatening her that if she doesn't play ball, get down with the get down, take this money, get in my back pocket, then I'm going to release this and you're going to have even more problems to deal with. She tries to hold her own again, but she ends up folding. She takes the money and she pieces out. Is it here where Tommy tells her that she needs to take the detail off of Claudia and Elise?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she could not take the detail off Claudia. That would be too obvious. But she did agree to take the detail off of Elise.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Elise. She made it. She made it. I didn't think that she was going to make it, but she still looked like a little scared cat the whole episode. But
Retro, remember, we was talking about this. Where's Tommy getting all this money from?
Yeah, where Tommy getting all this money for? Tommy don't put out $2.5 million in the last 2 episodes. He gave her $1 million in the first donation. He gave her $500,000 now, and then he gave Elise another $1 million for her to kick rocks. Stacy has called Claudia in for a meet. I was a little confused about this. We talked about this a little bit last night too, Fresh. I was a little confused about this because I couldn't figure out, again, maybe it was the actress and the delivery of it, but I could not figure out if she was doing this to help Tommy or was she doing this where she really was sending Claudia out to try to get a hit on Tommy.
She definitely was setting it up because for Claudia to take out Tommy.
So
she really think that Claudia would be able to get that done? She got poked up in jail.
That was stupid of her even thinking that.
That was stupid. That was so stupid.
Yeah, because the little comments that she made towards Claudia and was just like, the world won't miss him, etc. And that's what Claudia's like. Well, what are you insinuating?
That was an insult.
Like, what are you insinuating? And then that's when they go into this whole spiel, like, you know what?
So in other words, you're saying that this was an attempt for her to get from up under Tommy by having Claudia eliminate Tommy.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she even says to Claudia, she makes a deal with her and says, you know what?
I'll let you run these streets.
Yeah, I'll let you run these streets when I'm mayor, and I'll turn a blind eye.
Stacey did play in The Chi, and she was the wife. She did play in The Chi. She carried that role pretty well. I think it's just the way that she's acting in this. She's overdoing it in this.
Watch The Chi. So
yeah, neither did I. Claudia is trying to figure out this situation, but of course, she's always going to go for a deal that benefits her.
Yep.
In true and fashion, she doesn't really question Stacey as to why me. And I feel like, I understand this is personal for Claudia as well, but Claudia, you had to think for a minute that you were not a match for Tommy, that you should have solicit some type of aid in accomplishing this task. Did you really think that she was going to be able to go over there and eliminate him? She did tell Claudia how to ditch the detail, tell him that you're going to the bathroom and slip out the back door. And then she even told him how to get into Tommy's place too. And that was interesting too, that she had already come up with a way for Claudia to get around Tommy's security. As she gets ready to leave, she asked Stacey, what did he do to you? And Stacey's got the devil in her and answers her by simply saying, he took away something that I can't get back. What was it that he took away from her? Her dignity?
That's what I figured.
Her innocence.
Yep.
Or her clean campaign or something.
And her innocence, man. Actually, not innocent. You just took money from the drug dealer.
She didn't have no innocence though, because she was already moving dirty. She wasn't doing a lot of dirty things as Angela did when Angela got the devil in her. Because Angela was suppressing evidence, helping Tariq and Tasha and Ghost. But Stacey was coercing witnesses, threatening witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So her hands weren't exactly clean the entire time. I feel like she was running a dirty case anyway. So
Retro, remember, we were just talking about this last night. We wondered if Stacey even knew that she wasn't going to make it out and it was all a setup. Maybe she thought she could kill two birds with one stone.
See, for me, I thought it was a scheme to help Tommy get Claudia, because remember, he originally asked her to take the detail off of Claudia, and she told him that she couldn't. I feel like that was her way of sending Claudia to Tommy instead of Tommy chasing her at risk of getting the details. So that's why I always felt like maybe that was her way of showing Tommy that she was playing ball.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
So she sends Elise a text saying that to get the chopper ready at 12:30 to leave, because earlier in the episode they had agreed that once she took care of her Tommy problem that they was going to leave the country.
Yep.
And if Elise didn't realize in that scene right there that Claudia was using her, I don't know what more it would have took for her to realize that
she didn't at all until she saw Tommy. Okay, so
I don't know about that, Miss Deborah. She didn't have much integrity, because I mean, look how she treated her husband. Look how she treated other members on the task force. So Stacey wasn't running a on the books case. I don't understand the purpose of JP. JP should have been gone long by now, because all he does is sit here in this house and wait for Tommy to come over there. He has no life. He does nothing. He serves no purpose. He gets a package from Kate, and it's addressed to him and Tommy. And Tommy comes in, and they sit down, and they talk about the earlier encounter between the two of them.
Is it okay? And like I said,
regarding him and D-Mac, and he pretty much tells him that if D-Mac gonna be in these streets, I'd rather him be with you. Like, what?
And like I said, I just hate the nitpick, but I was just trying to figure out, one, how did he get this package? And two,
maybe it came from Postmates.
Okay, and then I was like, two, how was Kate's
card maybe
to send this package like this,
In
a
the
6-pack of beer
in the mail,
like wrapped up the way it is
in a brown paper bag.
in a brown paper bag. Like I was so confused by that, but as we always say, it's a plot device. We know JP is out of here this season. This is.
Did she mail it?
But I'm disappointed with that. Well, he said it was addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Him.
Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case, then you can mail it.
But if it was in a box, it would have been a little bit more palatable.
And it was non-alcoholic. You know, it was.
If it was in a box, sealed, yes, but wrapped up in those cans would have never made it in the mail.
Would not.
Well, considering my profession, yeah, it can. It can. It can. I've seen it.
So there's a note in the package that says that you two are brothers. Remember that, and he's basically telling them to have a drink, sit down, and talk it out. What I'm disappointed in this with the JP character is they did not take time to develop him. They started him off with a storyline with the husband and him being related to Tommy and with the whole D-Mac story, but they never evolved him past that. So he just sits around here in this house and just I don't know what I would have liked to saw with the character. I don't know if I would have liked to saw him double down and actually join Tommy in the business, because I thought that's the route they were going with him when they had him in the lab cooking and he was serving. I thought that he was just going to, just run these streets with Tommy. And then there was a part of me thought that he was going to leave with Kate and go back to New York with them. I don't know if we really got a good use out of the JP character other than creating the family connection between him and D-Mac. I feel like we got more character development from D-Mac than we did with JP. So if this is not a obvious sign that there's no more use for JP's character, he's going to be situated, deleted. Yeah. I don't know what else is. This is kind of like his final sit down with his brother.
Yeah.
Before he's eliminated.
That's what I figured. See, Fluid, he didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, he gave it back to Tommy last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he had another bar though, right? He had the one that D-Mac kept on.
Didn't it burn down or got
something happened? Yeah, something happened to it. If I'm not mistaken, something happened to it because of Tommy, and that's why Tommy bought him another one.
Right. And then he gave him the keys back after a whole bunch.
Yeah, they had some kind of falling out behind.
Yeah, he gave him the keys back. I think it was because of Kate. He gave him the keys back.
I think it was because of Kate when she OD'd.
Yep.
Yep. Maria's at the hospital, and there's a lady in the waiting room that is just losing her mind because her child got a hold of a weapon and harmed themselves. So that made her realize the dangers of one, having a child in this life that she's associated with. But I felt like she should have that fear automatically, even if she wasn't with Tommy. I mean, her whole family was a criminal organization, so I mean, it's not like she came from a wholesome background.
You opened up my eyes or something, because I didn't even think that.
I
mean, her mama, her grandmama, her brother, look what her brother did with Chase's son. So I mean, it's not like she's from the veil of innocence here. So I
honestly think it was her hormones because she was pregnant.
That's what I thought.
That's her hormone.
I don't think it had anything to do. I don't think necessarily. I think that's part of it. After when we get to that scene, but I think with this particular one, it was because it was more so because of her hormones, because the lady was like, "Well, you've seen worse, so why are you, how does this bother you, and she probably was like, I don't know, and then that's where she came to the conclusion, like, yeah, I ain't had.
Yeah, the nurse said something about her period.
Yeah, my redheaded auntie ain't been here.
The nurse said something about her period and her hormones. Yeah. I don't know if they made it clear to us what happened to JP's father. I guess we're assumed that he succumbed to his illness, because didn't they say that he had some type of illness?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he passed away.
But they never talked about him anymore, other than that scene where he met Tommy. We never saw him beyond this. So I guess to interpretation that we're to assume that he succumbed to his illness.
And retro call.
She goes into the bathroom and takes a clear blue Eevee, and she is with child. this goes back to what Jack always says. Me and Jack talk about this a lot. It's in any installment of Power, it's a wash and repeat situation. Yep. And I need for a child to make it in the Power universe. Every person that ends up pregnant in the Power universe ends up losing their baby. Crystal lost hers to self deletion. Diana got hers kicked out of her. Yep. Ollie got hers choked out of her. Yep. I mean, at some point, I don't even understand why they do the pregnancy storylines if they're going to not let them have the children. It just plot device.
Yep.
I'm hoping.
But I have some thoughts on that. I'll wait. I have some thoughts on this.
Okay.
She might be one that makes it.
Man, I hope. If she don't, it's like
so she's
watch and repeat. It's gonna annoy me. It's gonna annoy me for sure.
I'm tired. I mean,
and Rock. How about Rock?
It's like it makes the story arc predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about Rock. Same thing with Rock. I mean, it's like, what is the point? Especially with Rock, there was just no point in making her pregnant. That was just.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right. Because she was talking about Symphony, right?
Further the story. She said it's time to test the last time. No, Unique.
Oh, that's right.
Rock was pregnant by.
That's right.
Unique.
I forgot about that.
You forgot that, D.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Unique.
Yep, it was Unique. Right.
Because remember, she called Juke to come and pick her up after she had went and had child removed. Yep. So Vic is back at the penthouse and he meets with some of his goons, and they upset. They in their feels. Because they like, look, you let Tommy let the Albanians come in and take over our bars. You out here shitting on the Flynn name.
Oh, we lost Retro.
Yeah, he was. I didn't know if that was me lagging or was that him lagging.
Okay, so Retro will be back. To pick up off of Retro, we got Vic here at the penthouse, and he is meeting with Connor and Jimmy, who I'm assuming just because of the conversation that they had that they were under the Flynn umbrella. Mm-hmm. And he says, that the Albanians, due to a deal with Tommy, that they came in and basically just took over their bars that they had. And they want their bars back. And Vic tells them, like, you know what? Hey, like, I got to play in motion, but I have to wait it out because we don't have the muscle right now, like usual. And I can't remember. Connor tells him, hey, yes, we do. We got the muscle now. We get the folks from Milwaukee, along with New York, some other places, and we can come in here and we could take back our territory, but we need a leader, which is none other than Vic, and they want him to restore the Flynn's name. And so Vic is down, and Vic is like, let's go ahead and let's get it. So with this scene right here, I already see what they're setting it up for this season. And then we kind of spoke about this in episode 1, that in a sense, we know at the end, Tommy is going to end up going up against Vic along with Connor and Jimmy, and especially now, which we'll probably see in the next episode, after Vic finds out that he unalived Claudia, and he's probably going to end up going up against CBI as well as the cartel. I can't even think of the Jimenez. Is it Jimenez, right? No,
Jimenez.
That was Power.
It's OG Power. I'm gonna draw it too.
I forgot because I always end up saying Ortega cartel, but that's not it. But Ortega and that whole cartel. So after meeting with them, he ends up calling Claudia and Thank you, Dexter, the Marquez cartel. He calls Claudia and to tell her of the deal that he just made with Jimmy and Connor, and how they plan on taking everything back and restoring the Flint name. But of course, Claudia doesn't answer, and he leaves her a voicemail to tell her exactly like what he's planning. In a sense, he doesn't go into detail, but he tells her, you know, like what he's planning to do to restore the Flint name, and he agrees with her. Let's take it back and give me a call back, you know, whenever you can. So he leaves her a voicemail. So here we have Tommy outside of Elise's club, and he's standing there with a bag of $1 million. And me and Retro spoke about this offline and said that if it's $1 million in that bag, it has to be in all hundreds, because there is no way that is $1 million inside that little small duffel bag. Like $1 million weighs a lot. So it had to be in all hundreds. And he approaches Elise and he convinces her to give up what Claudia has planned for him. And he offers her the $1 million. And he also tells Elise, you know, like, hey, Elise doesn't care. Claudia doesn't care about you. She's just using you. Like, you know, if something happened to you, she wouldn't care. And Elise is like, that's not true. You know, Tommy brings up of how Claudia has unalived people in the past, especially her last one. And she was like, no, that's not true. Claudia has never unalived anybody. And he was just like, that's not true at all. Sit here and think about it. Like, you know, she's all for herself. So I was actually glad that Tommy, like, they wrote it this way to make her realize that she's been using you all this time. In a sense, like she's been using you to get out of jail. Because at a certain point, you can see like Elise finally coming to terms, like, oh damn, you know what? He's right. Like Tommy's right. Like she, you know what? She could be using me because of everything that's, you know, everything that she's had me do. Like I've done literally for her, and the fact that we could have just hopped on this jet and got away. But she was more so trying to, you know, use herself as bait to set up Tommy. It kind of showed it. So I was actually glad. I was like, good. Like I said earlier, we got 2 birds with 1 stone. So we ain't got to worry about Elise no more. So here we got Claudia coming in through Tommy's crib. And this whole scene was just kind of funny to me because it was just like she dressed in all black. She coming down like it looked like a from the rooftop ladder and whatnot. Like she's like a stone cold assassin, if you will. And Tommy's already sitting right in the chair and he's just waiting for her.
Waiting on her.
So they have a little back and forth, a little words of like, you know, hey, you know, it says like, how did you know, like I was even going to be here and all of this stuff. And they have a whole little shootout. And they go back and forth. Tommy plays possum and she unloads, which was so stupid to me. Cause that's what showed me. I was like, yeah, that showed me right there. It was like, yeah, you're not at all like, the stone cold person or smart enough I guess drug dealer, because you unloaded a whole clip. You ain't hear a body drop, you didn't hear nothing. So Claudia lets off a whole clip into the couch thinking that she has hit Tommy, and then Tommy pops up and pops her right in the side.
I actually only come there with 1 clip.
I guess she must have thought that. See, yeah, okay, so I have a couple of questions on this. I'm gonna get through the scene and then we'll go to the questions in the comment. So Tommy pops her right in the side with Liliana's gun. And then after that, he pops her again and hits her in the neck. And Claudia already knows, like right in there, her time is up. And so Claudia's like, welcome back, Retro. It's all good, bro.
We're gonna have a long conversation.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. So Claudia's wondering who gave her up, and tells her Elise was the one that gave you up. And they have their last words, and Tommy just pops her right in the dome. He grabs the glass and toasts to Liliana and say, hey, Liliana, now you can have her. So my question to this whole thing was,
Probably the same question I have.
is even though she got in the crib, what is she? Because everybody knows, like, Tommy don't have no big crib. What was she expecting? How was she expecting to sneak up on Tommy in his crib?
I guess she thought she was gonna hide. She didn't expect for him to be there.
Okay.
So I guess she was gonna hide and eliminate him when he came in. But here's my question: how did she let off all them shots, unload a whole clip on the couch, and miss him?
Because Tommy was all the way down on the ground. Like, she didn't know where he was on the ground.
Was he under the couch? I mean,
if you laying flat
It's
on
a
the
couch.
ground and she's just shooting at like the back of the couch.
Yeah, she shot like the back of the couch. So
she
like,
didn't shoot
if he
down.
I'm talking about when he was sitting on the couch at that. She should not have missed him. When she started busting off at him, she should not have missed.
Oh, well, you got to think at the same time they missed each other because she kind of turned her head and just shoot, and then whatchamacallit. But yeah, I think that's exactly how she ended up missing him behind the couch. And I had to rewatch that because I thought that too. Yeah, Toast Liliana. Yeah, Toast. I was wondering that too. I was like, I would have thought Tommy got hit, but then when I rewatched it, I realized she just hit the back of the couch. So remember, we told you here first, folks, Claudia was gone. So many of y'all said that this scene right here was a dream. He was gonna be talking.
He was talking to Ghost. Yeah,
he was talking to Lakeisha.
Bye,
Like,
Claudia.
told y'all. He told you, like, she gone.
However, I'm gonna have to play. Look, I get it. I understand, but at the same time, I don't understand. Why all this smoke for Liliana? Tommy didn't even like Liliana back in power. He wanted to situate her himself. Like, he didn't even have this type of smoke for Tariq and Ghost when he eliminated Ghost. That's why it just does not make sense with this Tariq and Tommy team up. Tommy on the phone calling Tariq for Tariq to come and help him. Why? He got D-Mac there. Like, it just the way they are writing this just does not. It belies credulity for me. I cannot understand why he was just so pressed about avenging Liliana. Like, I get it.
I think it's I guess
he had Liliana for all but 5 minutes, yo. Really?
That's true. I think maybe because he got close to her.
I think he had nobody else but her at one point.
Yeah, at some point, like, especially from back in the day, because everybody was gone. Like, Ghost is gone. He ain't rock with Tasha. Lakeisha's gone. He wasn't messing with Tariq. She was kind of like the only one, and she also helped him get established and help him build up all his stuff in Chicago. So I guess he just saw her as like the number one rider, and how loyal she was.
Okay. Now that makes sense. So I've seen a lot of people say that he called Showstopper first. He called Showstopper first. No, he did not.
No, he called Diamond.
Diamond first. Diamond sent him to voicemail, and then he called an unknown person. We didn't know who he had called. I've seen some people say that he called Tariq. This is when he called Tariq. No, he called Showstopper when he couldn't get a hold of Diamond. And the reason why he called Showstopper and not Bones or anyone else or D-Mac or Marshall or anyone else was because him and Showstopper had already had a plan to get rid of Claudia the first time when he poked up in jail. So it was the second obvious person for him to call was because she wanted her situated too. That's why he called Showstopper.
Now, I ain't even gonna lie. At first, I thought that was the scene where he called Tariq, because like since we didn't see it, and he just said, "Yo, I need your help," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But then as soon as it went to this, I was like, "Okay, that's what we called," and then that's what made me like what you said, Retro. It made me remember that they had been wanting Claudia gone from Jump Street, so
that was a side mission.
Yeah,
all along. That was a little side mission.
And I think also he called her maybe after that was because of when they took out the Marquez cartel hitters that came up into Shanti's shop, her boxing joint.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, she sent them after them. Yep. So that was unfinished business for them. Now, my question to you all is, how did they leave the body, and where did they leave the body? I see they have rope in their hands, so did they string her up? Showstopper makes a comment, what an elaborate way to leave the body.
Yep.
I'm wondering, what did they do?
I'm thinking like you said, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking that they left the body strung up somewhere, like the same way Diamond told them to do the yardies to make it look like that the cartel did it.
I don't know, Dexter. I think we talked about that last week too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they planned for another season, if season 3 wasn't the last season of Force, and they didn't have to end the story, maybe they would have shown us Tommy having to shoot back to New York. Even I wish they would have shown us even him going back to New York to check on Kate. That would have gave him
exactly
to be in New York, and then we could have tied the events that happened in book 2 to that, just by him simply saying it could have been a conversation with him and Maria. Hey, I got to shoot back to New York real quick, check on Kate. Or even if he would have had it with JP, hey, let's go back to New York and check on Kate, or whatever. That would have made sense to tie those events together. But I don't think between what's getting ready to happen in the next 5 episodes, Tommy's going to have the time to go back to New York.
Yeah, me and Retro kind of discussed that. We might not see that till Legacy.
Or unless it happens in episode 10.
Yeah.
It could happen in episode 10. Showstopper takes the opportunity also to throw Jenard under the bus and tell Tommy that they eliminated the Arties. He was like, yeah, I know that. He says, but did you know, what did she say?
She said that the Yardies hit them, and Tommy's like, yeah, I know that. And then that's what Cardi was like, yeah, but they hit him back.
They took out the whole crew.
The whole crew. He took out the whole crew. Boy, if she knew about that meeting with Chase, man.
I think she going I think at some point, because remember, and I can't remember his name, and that's who I thought how she found out about them hitting back at the Yardies. I can't remember his name. But the character that came to visit her at the boxing joint.
Yeah, Raheem.
I think he was the one who probably had told her, like, yeah, we took out the Yardies. Like, we might not have just seen his
that's her inside man inside of CI. Like, he also keep her on game on what Jenard's movements are too.
Mm-hmm.
She also tells Tommy at this time that these brothers are getting close, they working together, and they're gonna look out for each other.
Yep.
So she's planting the seeds of doubt within Tommy.
Please take her.
Like I said, I told y'all, I think she is, and I think it's going to be at the hands of Jenard.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be at the hands of Jenard.
Yeah, for sure. That writing to the wall.
Yep.
Oh, this scene here to me was hilarious.
Yep. But I'm confused. Because I thought when Elise looked at her phone, it said 11:30 or 11:26 or something like that. How did we get to midnight?
Nope, it said midnight.
It was
midnight. But didn't she say 12:30?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I laughed at this scene.
Regardless.
Man, look, and we saw her carrying that red bag, and I like when they do things like that, because when Tommy first approached her, I said, "Why is Tommy carrying that red bag like that?" And then he announced that he had the $1 million in the bag, and he propositioned her to turn on Claudia, that she wasn't doing nothing but using her. So we saw that she took the money, and when she got on the chopper, she said, "Don't wait for the other passenger. Let's go." So.
Yeah, that's why I laughed at this scene, because I was like, she listened to Tommy. I was like, she finally got smart and was like, yo, I'm getting up out of here. Part of me
thought that she was getting ready to get taken out before she got on that chopper. A small part of me thought that she wasn't gonna make it on that chopper.
I didn't even think about that. I guess because probably was laughing so much. Because I was like, finally, you just go ahead, Retro, because we had this discussion.
I'm finna let Jack take a stab at it. Let me see what he say.
Well, in this scene, of course, Maria is back at the house. She's all excited to give Tommy the news. She pulls out a onesie that is for where were they going?
Barcelona.
You know, to show Tommy along with the news. Where I got confused was, or what I wanted to understand was, why the Barcelona onesie?
Okay. Yeah.
Where was the Barcelona onesie come from?
That's what I said. Did she go by the store in the mall and had to make it for her real quick?
But here's the thing though, Barcelona was a done deal.
No, Barcelona. I'm assuming that Barcelona is where she wants her and Tommy to take up new life at.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was for them to go on a little trip, a little getaway, or whatever the case may be. I am just thinking now that this is her final plan for them. That, okay, we're going to have this baby, we're going to move to Barcelona, and we're going to live happily ever after, which we know is not the case. But I do think that this onesie, the Barcelona, is foreshadowing something else.
I do too. I swear you took the words right out of my mouth.
What I was thinking earlier when we was talking about it was that I think that's where she's going to end up running off to.
Yeah.
After she loses.
Well,
if she loses, I'm like,
I don't think she loses the baby. I think she doesn't tell Tommy she has the baby, and she leaves. I think after what happens next week, whatever happens next week, with Miguel trying to set up like I said it last week, I'm going to say it again. I think next week, if she does tell Tommy, I think she's going to tell Tommy and Miguel together at that dinner. And that's going to force Miguel and Tommy to team up to take out those hitters that Roberto Ortega is going to send. Because remember, Miguel set up a meet for Roberto Ortega to come send his hitters to eliminate Tommy at this restaurant wherever they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, before those hitters hit, she's going to announce to both of them that she's with child. And that is what that scene is that we see in the trailer with Miguel and Tommy teaming up on someone. Everybody thinks that is Miguel and Tommy teaming up against Diamond. No, I think it's going to be a team up to eliminate those Marquez cartel hitters. Mm-hmm. And it's because she has just informed them about her pregnancy. I think that's going to spook her, and she's going to run. And I think maybe at the end of the events of Force, they're going to show her on an island somewhere in Barcelona, possibly having given birth already. You know how they love to fast track these situations. Or she's going to pick up a new life, and she's going to come back in a later season with the child and let Tommy know that this is your child. That's how I see this.
I can see that. I could definitely see that for sure.
Or if we want to keep with the same wash and repeat, then she gets taken out during this meeting. I
hope she don't.
That's a possibility too, that she may be collateral damage, all because of her brother. Her brother sent the hitters at Tommy. He may end up being the one to get situated and not Tommy. I think they still team up to try to take out the hitters, but I think in the aftermath, that when all of it's done and over with, they're going to realize that Maria is unalive.
Yeah.
And I could see Miguel being overwhelmed with guilt by that, and maybe he eliminate himself.
Mm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I know that was a reach, but I'm just trying. They zigzag a lot too, so I'm trying to figure out if we get a zigzag, what's the zigzag? This is sloppy work for Tommy. Tommy usually don't leave no mess behind when it comes to taking out a body. And of course, I feel like the only reason this was left behind because again, a plot device for Maria to see the violence and the blood and the place being shot up. I don't see how she didn't see that when she first walked in, but okay.
I think she was so ecstatic with the pregnancy news that she didn't pay attention.
Rather than her leaving and going somewhere else that was a little bit more safer, she decides to stay behind and clean up the mess, which that was surprising for me. I was very surprised to see that that's what she did. And Tommy runs in and begs her pardon for her having to clean up the mess, and that he didn't really explain to her what happened, but she said, does this have anything to do about the friend that you were telling me about earlier? And he was like, yes, I took care of that problem. I'm like, about time for y'all to move out of that place. I wouldn't go to bed there that night. It ain't safe.
At all.
At all. It ain't safe.
Like,
does Tommy see the onesie on the counter, or does he find out at the dinner?
I was trying to figure that out. But then I looked at it again and realizes he never even looks that direction. Like, he immediately goes to Maria. Because I was like, how you didn't see that onesie sitting on the counter? But when I watched it again, I was like, okay, he never even looks in that direction. He goes directly to Maria, apologizes, says like, I didn't know you were gonna be home this early. I would have had this all cleaned up. And that's when she does the whole lie and says like, that's what happened. Like, she's number 3 for this promotion. So I don't know if he might find out next episode. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he does. I don't want it to be another situation where it's a hidden pregnancy for him. So I would prefer for him to find out next episode. I don't know if it's going to really change the outcome of what's going to happen. I still think that even if he does find out next episode, I still think that she ends up running off to Barcelona, or she ends up getting situated at that dinner. I mean, at the end of the day, we know that there are no happy endings in the Power universe, and Tommy has done too much, been through too much. I just don't see him walking away with a happy ending. I think something's going to happen that's going to rock his core again. And I think it's going to be him losing Maria. Now, the question is whether or not he learns that he's lost yet another child in Maria. I
think even the JP joint is going to rock him.
Yeah, that's going to rock him.
Because we already see that Kate tells him to get revenge. So we know that's for JP.
Yeah, we know that's for JP. It really should have been for D-Mac, though. But that's another discussion for another day. All right, so next week we have Tommy and Vic. They are having a conversation. Do you think that Vic is going to confront Tommy about eliminating Claudia?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Vic's going to be in his feels about it? Because we did saw where Vic did call his sister up and told her that he would help her, but it was too late. She did not get the call before she.
Yeah, I think for sure, and I think Tommy going to deny it and going to say it was the cartel that took her out, and because I think
that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's not going to tell her. He's not going to tell Vic straight up like, yeah, I took her out, because he still knows that Vic is a snitch. But I think exactly right here, like you said, they're going to have that conversation because he tells Vic, like, you don't run anything anyway. So I think right here, yeah, he's going to tell. I think this is where they're going to have that conversation about Claudia. I'm curious to find out who this person is.
It's just an arms dealer. It's just an arms dealer. And he's nobody. I think Tommy's exchanging product with him for some weapons.
Because right here, he says that he's about to be the number 1 connect in Chicago.
Yeah. Unless he's bringing someone else into the fold. But to me, it looks like it's an exchange for weapons for product.
Okay.
But it also looks like the deal is taking place in Diamond's basement. And is it just me, or is Diamond's basement getting bigger and bigger each episode?
At the barbershop.
At a barbershop.
There's a lot of room down there.
There's a lot of room down there. They can have whole meats and everything down there. There's a safe down there. There's a washer and dryer down there. There's a bed down there. A whole kitchenette that's down there, and a living room set too. Everything is in that basement.
Everything.
There's a conference room table down there and everything. I just think that this is an exchange for some weapons for product, or it could simply be Tommy trying to recruit someone else into the coalition because they are losing members left and right.
Yeah.
The product at the end of the table, the weapons on the table, to me was even exchange. Is this the episode where Diamond and Tommy part ways?
I don't think they part ways, but I think right here, I think this is where Diamond tells him about what he did with the Yardies.
Yep.
And about him meeting with Che without him.
And I think he also checks Tommy too and lets him know, just because he said it in this episode, I run CBI.
Yep.
So I think that he's going to check Tommy too in some respect and let Tommy know that you out here making moves on your own, whatever, but this is my shit. So it could be the beginning of them parties.
Yep. This is like I said, we saw it.
Mayor Wig is poor thing.
Yeah, I think right here, this is when she finds out that Claudia is gone because Sang runs up in there and says something to her about Tommy and whatnot. And that's when she's like, "Oh yeah, I have an idea on how to get back at Tommy."
I think Ortega probably gets released too in this episode, possibly. I'll wait till we see. Oh,
yeah, till we get.
Okay, whose spot are they running up in?
Okay, now that you said that,
whose spot are they running up in?
Okay, yeah, that's definitely not Tommy's. That's not Tommy's.
Look like Tommy's place.
That's not Tommy's.
That's not Tommy's place. We both try to change at the same time. Go ahead.
Bitch.
I don't know whose spot they running up in.
Vic, maybe?
Could be.
Nah. I mean, that could be the penthouse, but it don't look like it. Like,
it don't look like it.
I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know whose spot that is right there. Like, this must be gonna be a.
I don't know how she's gonna explain Claudia's death, Dexter, unless she blames it on the cartel. You could say that the cartel got a hold of her.
Yeah, she probably
but
will.
Of course, Sing will
know how her body was left.
But she won't know that Sing know that's a lie.
That
I don't know. I've been stumped trying to
Claudia
figure out the spot they running up in.
Yeah, I can't figure that out because I can't tell if that's steps or is that artwork. So I'm not sure whose crib they're running up in.
Or it could be a wild goose chase. It could be a scheme that she's setting up because keep in mind she is working with Tommy.
That's right.
Too.
That's right.
So it could be like a red herring. This could be a scheme that she set up, thinking that they run and she might tell them that they're running up on Tommy, but it's not.
You know what? You're right about that. That makes a whole lot of sense right there.
No, I don't think it's Kate's mother's house either. I don't think it's Kate's mother's house. There will be no reason for them to go there. I don't think that's where they're running up in.
But definitely not. Like I said, just from that little, what to call it.
All right, we get Miguel back next episode. What's going on here?
That's when he telling his right hand man of how they're about to get ready to get Tommy out of the picture.
I agree with that, Dexter. See, I feel like that too. I feel like he's got no choice but to let Ortega go because there's no one else to testify against him now. Merkovich is gone. Claudia is gone. Her case doesn't hold up anymore. And then Singh has changed the information on the warrant. I feel like he ends up getting released. Unless
I was about to say
no.
Because remember, saying in the previous one had said that like the judge was dismissing the evidence. If you remember.
Yeah, he did. I was just gonna think, could it be the Albanians? Maybe they're running up on.
Oh, you know what? It might be the Albanians. It's somebody. We know that for sure. I don't think it's definitely not Tommy Crib.
It's not Tommy's place. And she knows she can't make a move on Tommy anyway right now because again, she's in his pocket. So it can't be Tommy.
Yeah.
Unless they're making a run at CBI.
Well, I don't know who place it would be because Jenard stayed with Showstopper. He ain't got his crib no more. We haven't seen Diamond's crib, so we don't even know where Diamond live at. So
in the basement on a cot.
But we know
What's
in this
going
scene
on with
right
Tommy right here?
In this scene right here, I'm almost sure he's meeting with Che and Miguel because Miguel is in this scene with him. So I'm almost like 95% sure he's meeting up with Che. And they're
Does Che tell him about Jenard and Diamond coming to see him?
probably so.
I think so too.
And that's where he finds out all of this stuff out. And but
been going
Miguel
on.
is definitely Miguel is definitely in this scene for sure. That much
So
I
I
do know.
think this scene comes before
Oh, did we lose Retro again?
I think that scene comes before this. So I think this conversation is after that meet with Che and
Oh, I think we lost Retro again. Yep, I think we lost Retro again, y'all.
Yeah, we lost him.
Yeah, he's having issues. So we see Tommy here holding
Zamos.
Yeah, Zamos gun. So I think this is probably at the beginning where, like, you know, he finds out about the whole meet, and maybe this is where Jenard or maybe Diamond offers him that the 2 gold Desert Eagles that Zamos had as, like, I don't know, I guess just like, you know, hey, you know, we did what we had to here, you know, you take this instead, like you hold on to these or whatnot. So here, as we see Vic along with Connor and Jimmy, we already know this right here. They're going to go back into their bars and try to take back their spot from the Albanians. That's literally all it is. And probably along with Vic is going to try to come up with some ultimate plan yet again to eliminate Tommy, which is not going to work. So, okay, so Retro is right. I think this scene right here is where Tommy's going to find out that, well, no, he said over dinner. I think this scene right here is where Tommy's going to find out that Maria is pregnant, just because of his facial expressions and how he's seeing everything. I think this right here is where he's going to find out that Maria is pregnant, and how Tommy is going to move forward. Before we get out of here, yeah, see Fluid. If you go back and watch our interview with Miguel, he kind of talks about that. He was putting in a lot of work up into the gym, so for his character. So yeah, he did. He gained a lot of muscle this season. Miguel will plant the seed that Tommy's partners are working behind his back. I think Tommy pretty much knows that just from the conversation that he had with Nancy.
Or Showstopper.
You would have think that Diamond will be keeping his brother on the short leash after he tried to take him out in season 1. Yeah, you would definitely think that. But remember, when their father was passing away, he had told them to, he had told Diamond to make sure to look out for his brother. So Diamond made sure he's going to make sure to keep that promise. Now, this is the only I'm curious to know who exactly he's talking to, because Heroes Ortega's like, hey, we got to take out Tommy. We got to eliminate him. I want to say it's Miguel, but I don't think it's Miguel because Miguel is a felon, and him coming up to the prison to visit Ortega would make sense. So I'm thinking here it's either Sang or what was this attorney Chan? It's one of those two where they're having a whole. I mean, it could quite possibly be Vic, but I don't see it. But I think it's either between Sang or Chan. And yep, that's it, y'all. So please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as well as drop your comments and your theories under this, as we have discussed episode 305 and what you think may possibly come in episode 6. Also, be on the lookout as we will drop our predictions later on this week to let you know once Stars drops the pictures or what we think is going to happen in 306. Jack, you got it? Any other thoughts?
No, I ain't really got too many other thoughts, man. I just hope the next episode is as good as this one.
Same here. I definitely think it's. I think for sure after this episode we're about to ramp up, so I can't wait to see what's the picks that Stars drop for 306. So if any of y'all are fans of Bel Air, make sure we also have done the episodes of Bel Air so y'all can watch those as well. But until then, please be on the lookout for our predictions for episode 306. So until next time, we will see y'all next week.